In today's episode, we're going to be going through all kinds of different Diamond songs, whether they're hip-hop, pop, rock, and much more, and deciding where do they place on our tier list. So guys, if this is the first time you're watching a tier list episode from NFR Podcast, smash that subscribe button. Baloo, let's get into this. First song for today is Heartless by Kanye West, a fan favorite. Where do you want to put it today?
It was cool to see this go 10 times platinum. And listen, this is one of the most soulful Kanye songs on a record where it's more robotic and electronic. I think it's one of his best uses of his auto-crooning because it's dialed down a little bit.
Not only that, but it's probably one of his most impactful songs, to say the least. So
it's
where do we go with
perfect
this?
for me. It's a flawless track.
It is.
Timeless classic, super relatable in its writing as well, about separating from a lover. I fucking love this song.
You know
bro.
what? I could probably go amazing with it, but we'll throw Kanye the W. Let's go with perfect
Fuck
for
yeah,
Heartless.
W.
All right, next one is The Box by Roddy Ricch. So this was a massive hit that released back in December of 2019, and I feel like it was the anthem to everyone's life for 2020, just because it lived on. It obviously went diamond, but to be honest with you, I feel like this song has aged poorly for me. I'm being completely honest with you. Yes,
there's
absolutely.
so many songs in this list that have aged like almond milk, but this is not one of them, bro. Like, when you're looking at how dynamic this is as a performance with the E-er sounds,
No, I'm sorry.
the different, shift in his pitches.
No, you gotta
it's
stop
great,
right there,
bro.
boss. No, come on. You cannot come on this podcast and say that ended up
How
aging.
creative was that? That was a creative fucking.
Bro,
that was
he
so
made,
sick.
bro, he made a stupid little grunt. Like, it's nothing crazy, at least for me. So I mean, listen.
I was gonna go great with this song.
There's
I
no
feel
way
like
The
it's
Box
aged
is a
really
great
well
song.
as a banger.
There is no way The Box is a great song.
Would you go mid?
I would go mid.
So
but
we
I'll
gotta
meet you
go
in the middle.
good.
We'll go good in the middle.
We'll meet in the middle with
No
good
way.
for The Box. I love that song. But next up, we have The Hills by The Weeknd. And this song, like off the rip, you're hooked by these exhilarating, distorted synths. And I think that it's just so sonically adventurous despite it being such an easy to listen to Weeknd song.
That's very true. It's a
And-
very breezy listen. And it's something that automatically, like you said, like captures your attention as the song starts, which, I mean, I'm okay with. And going through the entire song, I do think that The Weeknd has a fantastic vocal performance all the way throughout. He's very vocal and dynamic.
Especially on the chorus,
Yes.
where he sounds larger than life. I loved his presence there.
One of my
Ultimately,
favorite mega hits, actually, from The Weeknd, if I have to say so.
I can go amazing with this.
I agree
I don't
with
think
you.
it's Heartless level, but I think it's really
If
high
this was
quality,
Heartless,
bro.
maybe I could go perfect, but The Hills is definitely an amazing song. But let's keep going on with this. Let's go on to Happy by Pharrell. My goodness. Speak about almond milk. Take almond milk and put it in front of Arizona and see
Listen,
what
if
happens.
you're not playing this because your kids just watched Despicable Me 2 and they have like some fond memories attached to it and they want to hear it, I don't know what you're doing, but like, this is an instant skip. One of the most cliche feel-good anthems. I think the lyrics are super dull. The song structure is stinky because this chorus comes up like 4 times and it's long as fuck.
It is. You know, what's funny is that Pharrell's a legend, and like, no
He is.
disrespect to Pharrell, he's one of my favorite artists in the genre, but he even said it himself, like how like it was embarrassing to put this out. He doesn't enjoy the song himself. Honestly, my brother, I am gonna go bad with this one.
You know what? I was going to go mid.
I want to go bad.
I wasn't going to be an asshole with it, but you know what? If you want to go all the way down to bad, fuck it, bro.
Listen, if I've heard a bad song, this is definitely a bad song.
Predictable song structure, boring song as a whole.
So I'm happy. Like, come on, you have to be serious at a certain point.
Clap
This is an empty.
along if you feel.
No,
Horrible.
he can't be going with this.
Horrible. Okay, we're gonna
All
go
right,
bad.
We're gonna go bad with this.
Next
one.
up, though, we have "Life Is Good" by Future featuring Drake, and I gotta be honest with you, but the last time that I felt really turned up by a Drake and Future collab was 2016 with songs like "Used to This" or "Grammys," and since then, the chemistry, the collaboration, even looking at this song, it sounds like 2 different songs just glued together.
You could say the same thing about Grammys, though.
I totally disagree.
You could say the same thing about Grammys.
No.
What's your hate
they were
with
on the
this
same
song?
vibe.
What is your nitpick
They had
with
similar rhythmic patterns. No, I feel like with this one,
So what's wrong with the rhythmic patterns on something like Life Is Good?
I just feel like the energy is so scattered throughout it. Like, you have Future coming in and absolutely fucking tearing shit up on the second half once you get that beat switch. But Drake on the first half, it's just standard Drizzy. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not as exciting as the second half for me. I feel like Future is truly the one that...
on the weekend, per usual.
It's a cool hook,
It's a cool hook. You have 2 parts to the song. It was a mega hit. Bro, I want to go great with this
I was
one.
going to go good with this. I don't think it's that special, and I feel like it was a bit too safe and familiar on the first half.
Okay, so listen to this. Let's do a little bargain here, okay? Let's do a bit of barter, okay? If I go good on this one, you owe me in the next one. How about that? Okay,
you know what?
you know
I'm
what?
good
We'll
with
do
that.
that. Okay, we'll do a bit of barter.
We'll
here.
do good because I do think The Box is a better song. So
All right.
we'll go good with Life is Good. Next up, we have Location by Khalid. And this is just a sweet and syrupy story of young love. Good alternate R&B track.
Summer anthem for a lot of people as well. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere without this song playing in the late 2010s. So, I mean, regardless, though, I also think Khalid has a great vocal performance on here. It's nothing too crazy where it just knocks you out of your boots, but for the most part, he keeps you engaged throughout the entire track. Super catchy hook. It's what a summer anthem is supposed to be. When you have to look at the Diamond songs in context of the rest over here, I do feel like it's maybe one of the more intentional when it does come to the writing, so that wins points for me as well.
I love his harmonious presence. I love how tender his vocals sound. Even though I don't like the pitched up background vocals all that much, I do think...
You see, I'm okay with them because it was engineered properly. Like, it didn't take away from his performance.
And that's what was interesting, too, about the mix is that it didn't sound overly polished. You still got to hear a bit of that grit and pain through his vocals, but I can go great with this. I think it's a great summer bop.
I agree with you.
Really danceable track. So, yeah, we'll go great with Location. But next up, we have Fuck Love by X featuring Trippie Redd, a SoundCloud classic. And despite the song sounding like a low-budget SoundCloud Lucy because of the sort of cheap drum plugins and keys, I think that Trippie Redd's hook is really underrated. I thought that he sounds incredible on that, and even the vocal performance from X is really soothing.
Isn't
and
there
cool.
like a crazy statistic that this is like the most played SoundCloud song of all time? It's an anthem. And even going back to it in 2023, I feel like the song has aged on an incredible note. I feel like it's probably one of Trippie Redd's best ever performances. Chemistry is a full display with XXX. I still play it to this day. I could consider between great and amazing if I'm being honest.
I can go great with this, but if you want, listen, I owe you one, right? We got to negotiate on this.
Yeah, I would go amazing with Fuck Love. It's just because the influence of it, like, it's a SoundCloud classic that went diamond.
Yeah.
Like, you don't necessarily have that on the list over here.
It is one of those signature like emo rap ballads as well. So yeah, I'm okay with that. All right.
So did I cash it? Did I cash it in yet?
You cashed it in, of course. I want it to go great.
Okay, all right, fine, all right, fine. That's fine.
I'm billing you for that one. Okay, next up though, we have Thriller by Michael Jackson, and man, I remember listening to this as a kid, and it would give me nightmares. Like my mom would play me the music video, and those zombies fucking frightened me, and that just goes to show the cinematic value that Michael and Quincy Jones poured into this track. When you're looking at the wolf howls, the creaking doors, the thunder, all these sound effects.
The lead and in the instrumental and the way that the drums are laid out, it's very cinematic in approach, and for good reason. It is one of the most iconic songs of all time, one that is a staple regardless of the genre. I mean, if you have not heard Thriller by Michael Jackson, I don't know what you're doing with your life. And just going back to even stuff like Off the Wall or even, you know, certain records by Michael, I do feel like this is definitely his biggest standout. It's his most iconic song, and I would go Perfect. It's a perfect record.
I would go Perfect too. I just love the fact that he also took like this song that sounds like upbeat disco music and turned it into something a bit more dark and scary.
It's revolutionary for all of music in the way that people also approach music videos down the line. I mean, if you guys have watched the Quincy Jones documentary, he went into further explanation with the vision and the impact of Thriller. So definitely an iconic song. I don't see it going anywhere else besides Perfect, but let's continue going on with this.
Second perfect song of the tier list. Let's see who else joins that company. But next up, we have Rockstar by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage, and I think it's a mid song. This to me,
no, sir.
This to me spells factory made all the way.
Sir.
And technically it was, if you think about it. This started off as a Joey Badass and T-Pain track that they just gifted and put into the lap of Post Malone. And to be honest with you, my major issue is just the energy level and the monotone delivery from Post, because it's a song about like doing reckless shit, having fun.
Yeah,
and you have
throwing
Post
the TV
Malone
out.
sounding bored as fuck, to be honest. 21 Savage has a redeemable feature. Even the production, standard trap beat.
Too harsh. This is one of these like plastic corny songs that I actually do enjoy. I'm being honest with you.
But it's plastic and corny, like you just said.
But there's something about it that just encapsulates you every
shows
single time.
no personality on the
yeah,
song.
Of course, he's fucking throwing TVs out of the hotel room. What else do you want? You know, from Post Malone. You know what? I have to say this is that I feel like maybe 21 Savage is a bit out of place. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't like his vocal effects. And
you're
like,
sweeter than a Pop-Tart. That's one of the lines.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say is that I understand why you would go mid. It's just that I still enjoy the song. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's one of those songs. If it came on the radio, I wouldn't take it off. I'm being completely honest with you. It's not a skip for me.
Let's cut this shit. You want to go good? What do you want to do here?
I want to go good with
We'll
Rockstar.
go good.
I want to go good with Rockstar.
I'll fold on that one. Okay, next up, we have Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. And I just feel like this is like a fairy tale-ass song that every middle school girl bumped with their moms. You know what I mean? At one point in time.
You didn't bump this with your mom at a certain point?
I mean, it came on the radio. I can't say I enjoyed it. I can't say I was bopping my head, but hey.
Come on, what did you know when you were 10 years old? This was the only thing you were listening to. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am not a fan of this song just because apparently she's bumping Jay-Z and California.
Britney Spears songs. And she apparently said that like when she goes to clubs and shit, she like specifically tells the DJ like play whatever record of mine you want, but just do not play Party in the USA. Like even she's fed up of it.
Well, I mean, how could you not? Like, but shout out to Miley Cyrus. This was a major song for her career. Like a lot of songs on this tier list are for a lot of these artists on this tier list are. But for the most part, I agree. Yeah, it's a mid song. I don't like the hook at all, even though it's iconic. It's one of those cheap songs that I do skip on the radio. So
absolutely,
shout out to Party in the USA, but you're going in the mid category. Okay, Sicko Mode by Travis Scott featuring Drake. I don't think we've ever included this song, regardless of the size of it, in the tier list. So I know you're a big fan of it. I've kind of gotten sick of it to a certain extent, but if I had to kind of step back and look at the song, it is impressive. I'm not going to lie to you. It is an impressive song.
It is, and I feel like after 5 years of hearing it, when I hear Travis Scott and Drake performing it, they're still full energy, full volatile experience, and the crowd still fucking love it. It's aged well, and I feel like it's one of those dense, multifaceted songs that just stands as like this hip-hop behemoth in terms of its popularity, its scale, what it accomplishes. I've underrated it in the past. I feel like it's an amazing song if you really look at each component of it.
It's an amazing song.
To me, it is, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
The beat switch is everything.
But you are right in the fact that I feel like I have underrated it. Maybe it's because, like,
it's annoying.
It's gotten annoying after a while, and I'm like, well, I just don't want to approach this, It's like eating turkey every single day of your life. But, I mean, for the most part, you are right. There's very little things to nitpick with this song. Like, the back and forth, the beat switches, the lead and the intro.
We never talk about Sway Lee when we talk about Sicko Mode. The whole
they all have
said,
chemistry. You know what?
Go the amazing. You know you want to do it.
Do you owe me one after this one?
No.
Do you owe me one? Because I would go great.
I
would go great.
I low-key convinced you on that.
What else do we have amazing here? Yeah, you could say it's on the same level as Fuck Love.
For sure.
Okay,
it's
fine.
Better.
Let's go amazing with it.
Okay, next up we have All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. And listen, there's a lot of things that you can escape in this world. You can escape jail. You can escape a city, a country. But when this song rolls around in December, there's no escaping it, bro. It's there.
Death, taxes, and All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. This is the only thing that's certain in life. That's what's crazy is that Mariah Carey's career, is built off of 1 month. And that is the month of December.
Bro,
it is incredible.
People start bumping this shit even in September. And you know what? Hear me out. This song is fucking amazing, bro. I don't give a shit. It's glamorous. It's epic. I love the xylophone that starts it off. You have these strings that come in, these bell chimes, and her vibrato is super impressive. The way that she hits the U note on the intro of the song, it's a fucking great song, and it stood the test of time for good reason.
It has. Who hasn't heard this song? I don't think there's a single person in this world that has not heard this song. That would actually be a funny TikTok maybe to do in public. Have you finding someone that has never heard All I Want for Christmas Is You by Carey? That would be hilarious. Imagine putting someone onto this song and what it would do for their life. But as you said, I've been through multiple Christmases at this point. I'm 23 years old and I've never gone through a Christmas where I don't bump it. So
are you like saying that this is under amazing?
No, it's under amazing.
Okay, so great.
I would go great. I would go great.
I think it's amazing again, just in terms of the genre bending and even the way it starts off as a sad ballad and goes more upbeat. But yeah, that's fair. We'll go great. Next up, Juice WRLD with Lucid Dreams. We've spoken about this a lot. It's his signature song. Definitely an emo rap classic. Brings you nostalgia with the whole Sting sample. I think it's a good song. I mean, emotional banger, but
I'd go great.
Yeah,
I would go great with it. It's right, I feel like it's right below, let's say a Fuck Love or a Sicko Mode, but it's still there, especially in the context of this tier list. In the context of this tier list, ladies and gentlemen, just because we're not saying that anything else, but just I feel like looking at the way this
diamond songs, okay,
I could probably place it right over there. Okay, but let's go on to Baby by Justin Bieber featuring Ludacris. The Facebook memes that were created around this song were classic. You know what's crazy? That especially for you and I, we were right in the middle of pre-internet blow up and internet blow up. And remember all those troll faces and all of the classic Facebook memes that got created around this iconic music video. What a time to be alive, man.
Lol, man.
Yeah, incredible.
Of course, that was classic. But this song, man, I mean, listen, it's bad. It's overproduced. It's underwritten. You have Ludacris coming in who has to dumb down his pen and sort of make himself relatable for children. And listen, it's just
Like, who decided to get Ludacris on this song?
he just, you know what? Justin Bieber came with the cheese, and Ludacris is like, "Fuck it, let me roll with the mozzarella and the provolone." You know,
Let me
He's
get
like,
through with it.
"Fuck
But poor
it."
Justin Bieber, that kid got absolutely hammered at the time for this song, and like,
Yeah.
I guess the fact that like it was so notorious at the time played into its sales and played into its success and popularity, and it won over every girl's heart back in the day, but it did not win over mine. So I
For
agree with
sure.
you. Let's go into the bad category with this one.
Next up, we have Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. Speaking about songs that got parodied, this is another one, but this is also a parody of the rap game where it's like he's flipping the script where rappers usually will flex and brag about their clothing and their drip. And now Macklemore is saying like, fuck all of that. I'm going to flex on you and show off my style with some cheap attire and sort of taking these old forgotten clothes and making them cool again. So the concept of the song was pretty cool. Music video, iconic. It's a joke of a song to me, though. I'm not going to lie
It's a
to you,
bad
bro.
song. I wouldn't even go any further than mid. I'm being honest with you. It's a bad song.
Like the opening line is him like flexing the size of his Johnson. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and
the
like,
R.
I
Kelly-
I don't wake up and want to hear about like R. Kelly's piss on your sheets. You know, like that's really not my forte.
It was a cool
So-
idea. The execution, though, it doesn't make for the highest quality music.
No, but I mean, like, you could see how there was a bit of shock value trying to be implemented into the writing and the song, and I'm just like, well, this is really not good.
The beat's
Even to-
annoying as fuck. That trumpet loop that just
Yeah.
meanders all the way
and,
across.
and then after that, you got the whole like $20 in my pocket, and it's like, no, I'd rather not. That is not what I'm going to be playing on a Sunday morning while I'm trying to relax. So
mid,
bad.
all the way to bad.
It is
Wow.
a bad song. That's a bad song.
you know
As
what-
you said, bro, the intro is literally him talking about his Johnson.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And like how
That's-
big it is, and then like the R. Kelly sheet bar. Come
Right
on, like,
after.
no, the writing is horrible.
Yeah, we'll go bad on this, and I will give him credit for "Can't Hold Us," which is not going to be on our list, but that's a banger. That's also a diamond song. But next up, we have "Bad Guy" by Billie Eilish, a song that I think is a little bit overrated, to be honest with you. I do like how creepy and mysterious the production is. You have these synths buried underneath this very distinctive bass line.
And her voice also sounds haunted. There's a vocal
Yeah.
effect on her vocals that sound like she's almost like a monster to a certain extent, and it plays into the production and the vibe of the track. But as you said, you know, I love Billie Eilish. I think what she's doing is absolutely incredible, and I'd love to speak about her further on the podcast because
Yeah.
she does tie into hip hop into certain extents. But for myself, I would say it's a good song. Nothing more than that.
Yeah,
To
I
be
would say
honest
it's
with
a
you.
good song. Even like the whole crossing walk signal sound that serves as like this instrumental break. I don't feel like that was that
Like,
was
yeah, people were
necessary.
going crazy about, oh my goodness, they use this crazy crosswalk song.
who
and
cares?
And I get it. Maybe it's a cool flip, but it just doesn't have points for me here. So listen, let's keep going on with this. Let's go on to Not Afraid by Eminem. And this was the anthem to my life when I was 10 years old.
But you find it cheesy now, don't you?
I do.
I like this song.
You still find it good.
I really like this song, and I think that in the context of a Diamond Songs tier list, this is probably the most lyrically profound and one of the most meaningful songs in terms of a message of trying to get people out of the darkness,
I'm not afraid.
finding a new light. The double entendres with the whole "fuck your feelings" section. It's fire, bro. I don't
true.
care. And
It's true.
listen,
It's
I'm
not a
not gonna
mid
lie to
song.
you.
No, we're not going
This
mid or
is
good.
the version of Eminem that I really enjoy. Not my favorite, but like the motivational Eminem to like Collapse, Survival, Not Afraid. I like this version of Eminem.
Never would I thought you had said you like this version.
It's good for you, bro. Like,
It
this
is
is
good for-
healthy Eminem.
This is healthy.
You know
Eminem,
what I
man.
mean?
Getting your greens in the day. Listen
Absolutely.
to Not Afraid. Okay,
It's a
Lou,
great
so
song
listen,
to me. The Boy Wonder production fucking smacks. That percussion on that
You know,
song.
we're gonna
come
throw
on.
Eminem a lob today. We're gonna throw him a lob today. Let's go great. Let's go great with Not Afraid. But let's go on to one of the most iconic songs in music history. One that should be considered for the national anthem. One that I want played at my funeral. Somebody that I used to
Sheesh,
know.
at a funeral
By
That's-
Gotye
that's
featuring
dark
Kimbra.
as fuck. Somebody that I used to know at a funeral. What the fuck? You're a sicko, bro. Sheesh.
It's crazy. Listen, this is how could you not fuck with this song? And what's crazy is that I love it because it's getting memed out right now.
I know.
You go through YouTube Shorts and it's just somebody that I
Used to know. And honestly, the build-up of it is really nice too, because he starts off with these soft monotone vocals, and then you have this build-up to where Gotye raises his voice, and you have this big and brash chorus that's super powerful. And the duet he has with Kimbra, That was beautiful. The way their voices intersected.
And it's kind of like this breakup sort of thing where they feel disconnected to each other. I'm telling you, this is the perfect funeral
Very
song.
unusual breakup song. Is it a perfect funeral song? Fuck no. That'd be so awkward.
Why would it be awkward? I feel like it would definitely add light to the room. People would be like, wow, the writing is deep.
There's
and profound.
another funeral song on here that's much better. But
You think so?
I love this song. The bass guitar licks are so smooth.
This is an amazing track.
Amazing track without a doubt. And just, again, the synchronized stretch of harmonies between Kimbra and Gotye really win me over. And the climax of the song, which is the chorus, is undeniably catchy. I'm going amazing for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. This is probably one of my favorite songs on the list right now, I swear to God. It's gotten a bit cheesy because of the memes, but I don't care. I'll still throw it on any day. But okay, let's go on to another song that I called a skip, actually, at a certain point when we were speaking about Drake's
Brother,
views.
don't do this
And
to
this
me,
is
bro.
Hotline Bling by Drake. Mr. Drizzy Drake himself dropped this back in 2015, I believe, and then it ended up making, the views track list. You know what? I'll retract my statement. I do not think it's a skip anymore.
Okay, so the other listens have changed your mind. Some
Yes,
further
they have.
listens. Okay.
I think it's just catchy.
I think it's an absolute bop. And I think that when you look at the trend that this started for Drake and how impactful it was, this was really the wave that kicked off his stretch of like big hit songs and number ones. Because after Hotline Bling is when you got views and you got the smashes like One Dance and Controlla, etc. I think it was super important for Drake crossing over into the pop side of things. And it's just an infectious song that's super addictive, all the way from that synchronized sound effect, which sounds like a phone ringing, to his various melodies.
You want to know what the game changer was for me with this song, actually? So I was going through Drake's YouTube, and I was going through all of his older videos, and he had opened up.
If you're gonna say the video won you over, fuck that. It's gotta be the music.
Hey, give me a chance to speak here, okay? So OVO had opened up a flagship store in Los Angeles, and Drake had done sort of like a visualizer for it, and the background the background beat was actually the one to Hotline Bling. And while I was watching the California like mountains, and as I was seeing the visualizer, I'm like, you know what? This beat is crazy. Like, what am I doing here? And you know what? I ended up going back to it, and yes, maybe the hook got a bit annoying for me over time or whatever it is, but the beat is fucking crazy.
But even what Drake does, like, it's one continuous, unbreakable rhythm. Like, it's like a wave that never crashes, is the way that I experience this song. I think it's great.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie
fine.
to you.
Okay.
Really?
We could go great.
Wow.
We could go great. I'm not going to
What a
challenge you.
gentleman Anthony is today. Look at this.
All right, let's go on to the next one. And this one, maybe one of my favorite songs of all time, one that I was actually considering from my list, for my top 10 favorites. And this is Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. One of the most studied songs of all time. One of the songs that get the most conversation out of any music fan and is open to interpretation. But man, I mean, I've been to countless parties where this song came on. I was actually at a music festival where the DJ played this, and you'll get the whole crowd singing to it, word for word, transition to transition. This is a flawless song.
This is an auto-perfect. Like, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Freddie's fragile falsetto? You want to talk about the dramatic intensity of it, the operatic style of the whole track, also the different stages that you go through musically, narratively, emotionally. When you're looking at this track, it's a perfect classic rock song. It's a roller coaster of emotions. How it starts off as like this dramatic ballad and turns into this powerful rock anthem. It's mind-blowing,
it's one of the best
bro.
songs of all time, if I'm being completely honest with you.
It's the best Diamond song by a mile. If we're going to talk about in the context of this list.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a single doubt there. And Freddie Mercury's vocals are just incredible throughout the entire track. And I'm serious, there's a lot of different interpretations to the concept of this song, and you could just fall through a whole different rabbit hole going through each and every single verse. Please do so. It might scare you a bit. But let's keep going on with this. By the way, perfect for Bohemian Rhapsody.
For sure.
Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi featuring MGMT and Ratat. But yeah, this is an anthem, bro. One of my favorite songs from my childhood. Watching Project X when I was a kid. I mean, you wanted to take your dad's Mercedes and put it in a pool with this song. You know, that's really the first thing I think of.
Fuck yeah.
It's perfect when it comes to a party anthem. Would I put it in the perfect category? I would not.
I'd put it in the amazing category. Like, this was the ultimate house party song for me. Like, if this song wouldn't come out at a house party, it wasn't a fucking quality house party.
Do you think this is the best house party song of all time?
For me, it is. For me, it's probably my favorite.
It would win everyone over.
It's that mesh of electronic and hip hop coming together, fused so well, and even the fact that like the message is powerful. It's about someone's like dependency on a substance, and it's kind of masqueraded by the hype and the beat drop, etc. But it wins me over on all fronts as a track.
Just don't drive drunk, because that's one of the lines.
Yeah,
don't do that. Yeah, is everyone repeating that? But just don't do that.
That's some
don't
fucked
get
up
on there.
shit. Yeah,
absolutely. But
amazing.
Regardless, though, it's still an amazing song. Let's go on to another song that you could consider for the national anthem. This is Fireflies by Owl City.
Mid.
No.
This is mid if I ever heard mid in my life.
No.
Listen, bro. Listen.
Could you sing the hook for me one time? Do it one time. Could you listen?
I don't even fucking know it. Fireflies. I don't fucking know it, bro.
You see? You got the melody, though.
I've tried to forget this song over time. You know what I mean?
Why
like,
would you? It's not that bad of a song.
You know what it is? Like, I just feel like Adam Young's vocals sound a bit amateurish on this. And I don't think that the production does too much for me. And there's no alluring components to this song.
I will say this. After my listen this weekend before this recording, I feel like this song is borderline creepy to a certain extent. It's a bit creepy. It is. I'm being completely honest with you. It's like, what the fuck?
Just has a fucking jar of fireflies chilling in his room, like looking at them all seductively. Like, what the fuck? Chill, bro.
Oh, shut up.
There's more to life. No,
shout out to Owl City. It's all good fun. Yeah. But listen, this was an anthem, though. This was definitely an anthem.
It was for some people. It wasn't for me.
It's Diamond.
It's super nostalgic. I know that.
Yeah, it is.
But at the end of the day, like I said, the vocals don't impress me. It's a bit cheese to me. It's
fromage,
mid.
as we say in French.
You want to go mid? You agree?
I'll throw you another bone. Let's go mid. But now you owe me, though. Yeah, you owe me now.
I owe you. Okay, next up, See You Again by Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth. I think this is one of the most beautiful tribute songs, honestly, that I've ever heard. I'd put it up against with the Commodores' Night Shift, which was a tribute to Marvin Gaye and Jackie Wilson. But when it comes to this song, even like living this experience, witnessing the tragic passing of Paul Walker and how it was a tribute done so tastefully. Even when you look at the scene in Furious 7, it just felt like a heartwarming goodbye, and it wasn't forced in any way. The Charlie Puth vocals are nice. Wiz Khalifa gives you a nice child-friendly verse. What is there to hate on?
There's nothing to hate about with this song. Remember the day we went to go watch Fast 7? That was an incredible day. We were chilling at Mass's house in RDP. We were just like having fun with the Marché Central. We were very, very sad after the movie, and then you wanted to go back and watch this music video. It was a whole experience and a whole ride with it. So I would go great, amazing.
Yeah, it's also a verse that like it sort of made sense for the relationship between Vin and Paul and what their characters represented. So what did you say? You want to go great?
I'd go great with it.
I'd go great with it, yeah.
All right, let's continue going on with this. Let's go on to Havana by Camila Cabello featuring Young Thug. This was actually a major moment for Young Thug, actually, when it came to breaking into the mainstream, because I feel like before 2017, Young Thug was gearing his music a certain way, and then he went on a stretch of just incredible runs with all kinds of big smash hits and ones that did big for the genre. But what's interesting is that you go back to this Young Thug verse, it's classic Thug, bro. Like, there's really nothing wrong with Thug's performance. Even Camila Cabello has a great performance throughout it. Pretty catchy hook. Do I think it's great? No, I could go good with it.
I'd go good, yeah. I think the song has a lot of charm and warmth to it, which a lot of these other songs are missing, to be honest with you. It's danceable. I love the Latin flavor in the productions with the horns and the strings. Like you said, Thugger sounded like he wasn't out of place, which at first glance when I saw Camila Cabello and Thug, I'm like, I don't know. They sold me on it, though. I think it's a good song.
Yeah, it is
fun.
A good song. Absolutely. But okay, let's keep going on with this. Let's go on to Bodak Yellow by Cardi B, and this song just went absolutely crazy, bro. I remember going to any single party or any single club, and you couldn't escape it. You couldn't. It got people so hyped. And, you know, what's cool is that, you know, Cardi B even says herself, like, this was thanks to Kodak. You know, thank you, Kodak, for this, and just absolutely gave her a gift.
And that's maybe where my criticism comes in, is that to me, it's just a weaker version of No Flockin', because, of course, she interpolated his flow and whatnot, but even the production is super similar. And to me, it's like this song will always be in Kodak Black's back pocket. Like, it's always going to be in his shadow, just because of how similar it is. And listen, it's a cool club song. People like to party to it.
It's good.
It's an anthem. It just doesn't do anything to excite me, to be honest with you. And if I'll have a choice any given day, Bodak Yellow or No Flockin', I'm taking No Flockin'.
Yeah, No Flockin' could probably slot into like a perfect rating, bro, for like club bangers.
That's what should have been Diamond. Forget Bodak Yellow.
Yeah, but
give No Flockin' the love.
But sometimes it's like it's the plastic one that's gonna definitely carry over the radio play. So good. Good for Bodak Yellow?
I
It's
would have
good.
gone mid, but I'll compromise. I'll go
I
good
think
with
it's
you.
a good song. It's not that
Sure.
bad. But okay, Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. My goodness. If you wanted to run from the boogeyman, you couldn't with this song. It was just radio play after radio play after radio play, and just Ed Sheeran saying, I'm in love with the shape of you.
This is maybe my least favorite song on here, bro. It's just like this basic acoustic guitar ass beat, some tropical flavor in it, some boring vocals. He's doing like the sing talky thing, which I don't like the performance at all. Apart from that, even the lyrics are horrible. Like, I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. And then goes in talking about like how his bed sheets smell like the girl that he just had some fun with. Oof. And it's like, bro,
what does that mean?
Do I care, Ed?
What does that mean? But listen, shout out to Ed Sheeran. Always shout out to Ed Sheeran.
It's a mid song to me.
It is
and
a mid
so
song.
overrated.
It is it's a very overrated song. But
Even
okay.
vocally, it's not impressive. He's not hitting any
he has
crazy
much
notes.
better songs in his catalog. No, he's way too talented for this one. But you know what? Everyone kind of needs like their cheesy diamond song to a certain extent. Everyone has one, you know.
The next
especially with
one
the big
ain't
one.
cheesy, and that's going to be Trap Queen by Fetty Wap. When I think of peak trap music, when I think of that 2015 era of looking at melodic rap, of looking at productions that were hard-hitting, 808s in your face, it doesn't get much better than this, bro. Like, Fetty brought the utmost energy, super dynamic performance.
He has one of the most unique voices that the trap scene has ever seen, and
Yeah.
I think that this song went diamond for a very good reason. You have an infectious hook, you have good verses, you also have a really nice production behind it. There's a relatability factor to it. Fetty's flows are on point, they're catchy, and honestly, like, this is probably one of the songs on the list that was the least likely to go diamond, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, I would have never imagined this going diamond, but then you start to think about it, it's like, well, it marks every single box when it comes to a diamond song, so why not, you know?
Yeah, and even his other bangers from that era, like My Way or Again, they're all on that same level of quality.
very
so
true.
I would go great on this.
I
What
could even
about
go
you?
amazing, but yeah, I'll go great with it.
Okay, we'll go great. We'll go
Okay,
great.
let's go on to Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO.
You remember when we were in elementary school, our graduation party, we literally had LMFAO impersonators come into
that
our
was
gym
crazy. It was a bit creepy.
and started shuffling and shit.
That's
and
crazy.
It was weird, bro.
It was crazy. But you're 10 years old. You don't know any different.
listen,
Actually, how old were we when we like?
we were
that was-
12. We were 12 years old.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, it definitely brings nostalgia back when I hear it. It gave you this very awkward dance. But everything about it is a bit derivative and not original. A lot of the beat drops within it are predictable. There's nothing really to glamorize with this song for me. I don't know.
You know
where
what?
to
It
go
does
with
take me back to a time though.
It
Like I
does.
could think about going back in time to like that summer of grade 6 and like listening to this song in certain scenarios. You know,
It's a fun song, I guess.
it is. It's cool. So what do you want to do? Yeah, I'll let you decide. I'll put you in the hot seat for this
I'm
one.
in the middle of mid and more mid than good, but
I
if
feel
it
like
has a sweet spot for you.
I feel like I owe them a favor. I feel like the amount of enjoyment and personality they gave me when I was a kid, you know, just the look and
we can't base it on that.
I mean, what's really that bad with the song? It's cheesy, but like
Every
this is
day I'm shuffling. Do 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 do. Come on, bro.
yeah, you're right.
We're gonna be real with ourselves. We're going to go in the mid
We're
with
going
this.
in the mid with this one.
All right.
Okay, let's keep going on with this. Let's go on to Old Town Road by Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. And
No good. No bueno.
no bueno. Trap and country is a genre I never want to hear again. It's something. Listen,
And I feel like a lot of praise to it comes because it's the first rap and country fusion. No, it's not, first of all. It's just the first one that became popular. But just to say, very generic trap beat. Nothing really impeccable or remarkable about it. And instead of Lil Nas X flexing about Maseratis or Ferraris, he's just flexing about, like,
the horses
and shit. Yeah.
Oh, horse in the stable. Well, I mean, salute to Lil Nas X for doing that. At least
Billy
it's like-
Ray didn't save it either, by the way.
No, absolutely not. I just I guess it made sense as a PR stunt to get Billy Ray back in here, but like, I mean, his career is a bit past him. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, you know, like he's definitely not prime Billy Ray Cyrus. But for the most part, no, like absolutely not.
I could go bad or mid, bro. Like, is there redeemable qualities out of it?
It's not as bad as a thrift shop. It's not as bad as a thrift shop.
It could be there.
No,
It could play with a thrift shop.
Listen, it's painfully boring, and I don't want to ever hear trap and country music fused again. But it's not as
It's
bad.
just irritating. Even the banjo that's thrown in there, like, why?
It's a trap country song. Ask why. There's banjos over 808s. Now you have your answer.
Yeah,
I go
guess
mid with
so.
it.
It just feels like
It's
a
a mid
bunch of
song.
like executives like just schemed in a room for 10 hours and thought about like how they could have a song that crosses over in
There
every
was
market.
like like they had like this massive like red board of like people connected to
And
each
a
other.
poster of like Hannah Montana and Billy Ray Cyrus and then hip hop
How
music.
could we replicate this for the youth? All right, that's going to go into the mid category.
Yeah.
But let's keep going on with this. Let's go on to Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson. This was a massive song. And when we were having, I think, a conversation with, I think it was Coleman, when we were talking about just Bruno Mars and like his OMO, it was always interesting because like his song, like his sound is not necessarily original just because like it's very similar to what like other people used to do in the past where they take old aesthetics and bring it into a modern setting. But I feel like especially for Bruno and bringing back like that up, like that sort of like groovy
80s
soul, like funk sort of sound. He did a good job on this.
He did. I think it's a good song. I mean, he's really feeling himself. It's probably the cockiest Bruno Mars you'll ever hear. Rapping about, not rapping, but rather singing about like he's so hot that he has to call the fireman on himself. Like, you know, you get those kind of lines, but I love the pulsating rhythm coming from the funky bass line. Instrumentally, it's pretty cool. Put a lot of passion into the performance as well. Is it as good as Grenade or Locked Out of Heaven or some of his other major slappers? I don't personally
Locked Out of
think
Heaven
so.
is a banger.
Yeah.
That's a serious banger. Yeah, I'd probably go good with it.
I'd go good with it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's keep going on with this. Let's go on to Unforgettable by French Montana featuring Sway Lee. They recently tried to recapture this moment in 2023, and I don't know how it's doing.
I don't even know what the song's called.
But let's go on to the next one with Unforgettable. I mean, you're right. The song is unforgettable just because of how many different times it was played. It's one of the most successful songs in music history. And you know what? Shout out to French Montana because somehow, some way, he always manages to get by with these mega hits. So
Listen, if this was a solo Sway Lee song, I think it would rank higher, but I'm not trying to hear French Montana on the dancehall vibes, bro. Like, I'm not here for it. I think that he just distracts from the real talent that's being exhibition on the track.
hey, listen, don't slander French Montana on this song, Lou. Don't do it to yourself.
His verses are so skippable, bro. I'm sorry.
But do you do it? No. Does anyone do it? No.
I don't do it 'cause
doesn't
I'm
happen.
like, well-
he has such a big runtime on the song. Something must have happened. Something had to happen. French Montana definitely contributed to this song.
Do not tell me that this song would have even gone gold, bro, if Sway Lee wasn't on the hook.
No, you're right. But he had to do something. He had to do something.
Hey, he's built on the track. It's got to count for something.
Well, he
bro.
has verses. It's not like you just say, "Oh, he has some like vocal background, like somewhere." You know, like come on.
It just takes away
he's
from
there.
it, man.
He's there.
I'd go good at best. If you
It
wanna
is a
be
good
generous.
song.
All
It
right.
is a good song.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue going on with this. My goodness, do I got a feeling when I listen to this one because I Got a Feeling by Black Eyed Peas and by Black Eyed Peas, is an absolute banger. I think it's aged well. I actually think it's
I
aged
think
well.
it's aged all right. I mean, at the end of the day, I was 10 years old when I was fucking with this. I had a crush on Fergie. I was getting into Black Eyed Peas because they were doing a good job of sort of making accessible hip hop at the time that really crossed over into pop as well. And this was one of those examples of that. When it comes to this song, I like the way that Will.I.Am and Fergie's vocals clash on the hook and
How do
the
you like that
refrain.
EDM type of production? Didn't you see this live at a concert?
I did see it live. Yeah, it was the End Tour, which was like maybe 2010, 2011.
Around that time.
Yeah, and listen, it has a celebratory vibe, fun group dynamic between them. Performances are still nothing special. I don't think it's, in comparison to some other Diamond songs here, super incredible, but
Nothing
it's
crazy.
a good song to me.
Yeah, I'd probably go good. I'd probably go good with I Got a Feeling. But okay, let's keep going on to another one. This is a massive anthem. No Hands by Waka Flocka Flame featuring Roscoe Dash and WRLD. This was being played everywhere in every single club. You cannot escape this song, and it's just an absolute banger. Shout out to Waka. He has multiple of these in his catalog. Where do you want to go with this?
I was surprised this was even Diamond, bro. Like, I thought, like, for some reason that Hard in the Paint was Waka's biggest song. So this was a bit of a surprise to me, but it's a cool song. I love how much, I would say he put into the performance in terms of the monstrous energy, in terms of the bow ad-libs.
I love those ad-libs. Especially in this song. Like, they add such a unique flavor to a Diamond song, and the fact that you have Waka Flocka ad-libs going Diamond. Get some points.
WRLD's verse stole the show for me also at the end. Roscoe's hook wasn't my favorite, to be honest with you. Another good song. I feel like we're flooding the good as just like...
It's passable.
Yeah, it's passable.
I could even go great with this one, no? What else do we have in the great categories? No, it's not as good as See You
No,
Again.
I don't think it's great.
No, it's not as good as Hotline
I think it's
Bling.
good at best. to
Okay,
be honest
fine.
with
We'll
you.
go
But
good
next
with this
up,
one.
we have All of Me by John Legend, and this is really the ultimate wedding song on this list. I literally went to a wedding where the first dance selection was All of Me, and
It's very emotional.
very emotional. I think that John Legend's vocal performance and his vocal range is really the chef's kiss to this track. And to be honest with you, I love also the fact that it's so simple. It's really just John Legend and his piano.
That's legitimately
and they
it.
made something so special for so many people.
So emotional.
Relatable.
Yeah, it feels like a scene out of a movie anytime you play this song. Like, how could you not tear up when you see a beautiful couple, like, dancing to this
Pure
song?
class, bro.
Yeah, you don't, like, come on, you don't have a single, like, heart if you don't like this song at a wedding or in sort of like an emotional sort of ceremony that celebrates love. As you said, the simplicity wins me over. It's legitimately a piano ballad with John Legend vocals over it. Like, what could you possibly want more out of a Diamond song? And I think that out of anything else on this list, this is the best vocal performance.
Probably.
This is
No, if you got Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. My bad. This is the top, maybe the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally
Like
agree.
it's up, for vocal performances. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
up there with some of the best ever Diamond songs. I think it's
Amazing?
up- I go perfect. I think All of Me by John Legend is a
Wow.
perfect song. There's not a flaw, bro. The writing is perfect. The performance on the vocals is perfect.
All right,
the piano is
fuck it.
perfect. It's a perfect song.
Yeah,
It is.
Like
That's
I
the
said, I
perfect wedding
can't pick
song.
out any flaws with
Somebody
it.
that I used to know is a perfect funeral song. This is a perfect wedding song.
Yeah. All right.
Anthems to your life. But let's keep going on
The
with
last
this.
song for today's list.
The most legendary song out of
Bro.
everything we have here.
This song literally starts off with T-Pain telling you about a baddie that he just spotted in the club, bro, and how he's like fucking mesmerized. Like, how can you not love this song?
This is Low by Flo Rida featuring T-Pain, the anthem to my life at a certain point.
Shutting got them apple bottom jeans. Come on, bro.
How could you not enjoy this song? It just
is-
gets you in the groove. It's a completely different feeling. It feels incredible. I mean, it's infectious the way that this just takes control of every single setting you're in. Both T-Pain and Flo Rida come together for just this epic energy, and there's a sort of like suave feeling to it. You know, it's so smooth. It's so like, wow. You know, it almost feels like Ron Burgundy would play this at his birthday party. You know, like
Absolutely.
this is the way I feel about it.
And yeah, and what's cool too is that it's an underrated Flo Rida rapping performance. Like his second verse, he picks up this crazy pocket where he's rapping really
It's actually
quickly.
a sick flow.
It's
It is.
fire. And like he's not saying anything memorable.
I gotta,
you know
I
what
gotta
I
see
mean?
who produced this song, actually.
Yeah, and he's not saying anything that's gonna stick with you bar wise, but it's just contagious, and I think it's a great song. We got to end on a solid note here.
You want to give it a great rating?
I give it a great rating. Come on.
If Google Chrome wasn't glitching right now, I would tell you the producer of this song, guys, but I can't. There we go. I got it. It was produced by T-Pain and DJ Montav.
Fire.
Very interesting. But okay, Lou.
Listen.
Diamond songs, baby.
And there's another 50 that we didn't even touch, so who knows? Maybe there's a part 2.
Maybe there is a
coming
part
at some time in the future. Let us know how you guys enjoyed these rankings. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? Should we do a part 2, and which songs should we include? As always, guys, it's always a pleasure doing these tier lists, and make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tier lists just like this if you're not subbed already. And to the whole community, we love you guys. Thank you for the support. We'll catch you next time. Peace.